Hi everyone, I'm Stan from Eagle Vision. I'm here with Justin Gehde from Property Developer Podcast. Welcome, Justin.
Hi Stan, it's great to be here with you.
Great to see you again. So last time we talked about the tips and I guess insights from Justin himself and some of the other experienced developers that he's interviewed at the Property Developer Podcast around the buying phase. Today we want to talk about the building phase. Oh, and by the way, if you want to check out the buying phase video, the link will be underneath so you can check it out. So back to Justin and the building stage of it, what would be the number one tip for property developers at that stage?
So building is obviously a very important part of developing and very costly part, one of the big pieces of the puzzle. One of the great tips that I've picked up from the podcast is around engaging important consultants early, like a quantity surveyor and a valuer, when you're in the very early stages of putting together your feasibility numbers or getting ready to apply for a construction loan, because these consultants will really help you make your application seem very bankable to the bank. And also, if you choose the right consultants, people that are perhaps already on the panel for a big group of lenders, you'll already be ahead of the process in terms of getting ready to apply for a construction loan. I think finding the right designer and the right builder is a really important way of ensuring that you come up with a really good design that can be built cost effectively. And a really good way of doing that is to talk to people in the area about who they think are the good operators. I always like to ask the agents, the designers, and the builders for who the good people are in the area, and they'll be able to give you leads for who they think you can work with or who you should talk to. And if you start hearing the same name come up again or keep coming up, then you know that that's someone that you want to go and talk to. Designers, again, a very important piece of the puzzle. If you come up with a design that's already efficient, then you're going to have an easier time getting it built. It's much easier to find a designer who has good design already as part of their skills, rather than trying to find an average designer or a cheap designer and trying to get them to come up with a cost-effective design. So you might be better off paying 10 or 15% more for your design because you're going to save time during planning and you're going to save costs during construction. From talking to builders on the podcast, communication keeps coming up as a really important element of that relationship with them. You're going to be in a close business relationship with them for a number of years, and so being able to communicate effectively is really important. So make sure you choose a builder that you feel comfortable working with and comfortable communicating with. I usually find if I talk to people on the phone for a little while, I get a bit of a feel for them, then I'll go and have a face-to-face meeting with them and then ask them some difficult questions and see how they react. Things like, what happened on a build that didn't go right? How did you solve it? Or do you have issues paying people on time? Have you got issues with tradies and subbies on site? Those kind of questions. Watch the body language, watch their reaction, and you'll start to get a bit of a feel for how that builder operates. I think it's really important to try and have a look at alternatives, because there's some really great systems and changes that are happening all the time. There's really great prefabrication, everyone's probably quite aware of that. But you're beginning to get what's called panelization now, or flat packs, which mean that things can be built off site and then come together on site and assembled really quickly. These kind of systems are already quite popular in places like Germany and Europe, and they're starting to come into the market here in Australia now. So go out, have a look, talk to your builder, talk to your architect or designer, or contact industry groups to find out what's going on. Yeah, so it's important that you engage a quantity surveyor and a valuer early on in your assessment and your feasibility, so that you can ensure your numbers stack up and that your project is bankable. The second one is about asking local people, builders, estate agents and designers for referrals and recommendations so that you can find the right people. Try and find a designer who already has high quality design in their work, rather than trying to shoehorn them into making something that's good. And ensure you communicate effectively with your builder, because you're going to be working with them for a number of years and there'll be problems along the way that you need to be able to solve. And then the final one is look at alternative construction or building systems to see if you can save time, money and effort.
Great. All right. Look, Justin, thanks so much for these tips. Thanks again for watching. Next time we'll be talking about some of the aspects of the selling phase. See you again.